Hi, and welcome to our very first episode of Hyperlane. This will basically be a source for Star Wars news and stuff like we'll talk about the novels, any new movies that come out, any new television shows including The Mandalorian, and everything in between, video games and all that jazz. If this continues to do well, we will continue making episodes. We'll try an experimental 5 or so episodes, and if they do well, we'll continue making them. Before we get started, I want to say that for years now, I've been wanting to do some kind of little Star Wars related show/project for YouTube. So this is basically more or less on my end, an experiment to see where things lead to. Star Wars is one of my favorite movie series. I'm a very dedicated fan to Star Wars. I've read many of the books, and I continue reading many of the new books, including the recently released High Republic series. But I also enjoy, more than anything, the original expanded universe novels, which are now known as Legends. I really enjoy going back and reading a lot of those because they bring a lot of nostalgia to me. When I started reading the Star Wars novels when I was a teenager in the mid-2000s, one of the very first ones I ever read was Star Wars: The Paradise Snare, which is the first book in a trilogy relating to Han Solo, basically the Han Solo trilogy. And it was amazing to me. I think at the time I was like 12, 13 years old, and it just completely, it was simply amazing. And now as an adult, I've come back and read it again. Actually, in the past 5 years, I've read this novel probably at least 3 times. So, yeah. And this novel was written by a very amazing science fiction writer named A.C. Crisp, and she was one of the, I'm going to say probably one of the top 5 best writers for Star Wars novels during the years of the expanded universe, or I should say the original expanded universe, now known as Legends. So today I'm going to do a spoiler-free review. Eventually I'll probably go back and do a spoiler-filled one in the future, but starting out, I'm going to do a bunch of spoiler-free, well, pretty much spoiler-free reviews of these novels, and I may do a few, and if you have a suggestion of what one I should review next, I may just do completely down the row each book in the trilogy. Of course, right now I'm in the process of reading the 3rd novel in the Han Solo trilogy. I have not read that book in more than 10 years, so I am revisiting it currently to prepare for a review in the near future. But if there's any other Star Wars novels you'd like me to review, let me know in the comments down below. So let's jump right into our spoiler-free review of Star Wars: The Paradise Snare, Book 1 in the Han Solo trilogy. So the novel starts with a young Han Solo, approximately 19 years of age, aboard a vessel known as the Trader's Luck. He was taken in at a very young age by a man named Garrus Shrike, who found him begging on the streets at a very young age. Solo soon escapes the Trader's Luck and ends up escaping on a droid freighter. The droid freighter eventually ends up at a planet known as Elysia, where he takes on an assumed name and gets a job as a pilot working for the Talandatil priests whom inhabit the planet. But he soon finds out that everything is not as it seems. So that's really all I can tell you in terms of spoilers. If I go any further, I would completely spoil the plot of this book for you pretty much. And I really strongly recommend reading any book, even if you hear about it from a spoiler-free review, because Star Wars books are a wonderful thing to read. My personal opinion on this book is that it is simply awesome. Even reading it after all these years, again, it just seems to amaze me how much how very much enjoyable this novel is. Now, I have to admit, it does get a little slow in certain chapters, but It's a very great novel in terms of world building and character development. And after you read this one, some of the things may not make sense to you until you finish the trilogy. So keep that in mind. If you read the Paradise Snare, you're committed to this series. You have to keep reading until the very last novel in this series. And if you get the chance, I highly recommend picking up a copy of this, whether it's a brand new copy, which it's still in print under, Disney decided to keep printing expanded universe novels, or as they're known now as Legends, which I'm very happy about that, because I've been able to pick up copies of novels that either have been long out of print or I've been unable to acquire from either flea markets or yard sales or used bookstores. So I'm really glad that they continue doing that. So yeah, this novel, if you get a chance, you definitely need to read it. Also, on a side note, reading this novel, there's a lot of parallels from the 2018 Solo, a Star Wars movie film. Not a lot, but there's some there, and I think that's rather interesting. I mean, it's not exactly, they didn't exactly lift it from this book and put it in Solo, a Star Wars story, but the basic story is there, and I think that's, rereading this after seeing that movie several years ago, I was like, wow, they actually took some notes from this novel, as well as the rest in the trilogy. So there's that. So definitely pick this book up if you get a chance. So I hope you enjoyed this spoiler-free review of Star Wars: The Paradise Snare. If this series continues to be good, I should say continues to do good. After 5 episodes or so, we will continue doing it. So if you like this new little show that we're trying out, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell if you want notifications of when we make more awesome videos. And if you have suggestions for future episodes, whether it's another piece of Star Wars literature, or if you want me to talk about a specific thing in Star Wars, a specific whatever. If I like your idea enough, let me know. Leave it in the comments down below. So I hope you enjoyed this very first episode, and I'll see you hopefully next time.